Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It's time for the Grapevine 981 inside of Smooth Breakfast. My name is Judith Achivi. As always, you're welcome to the show. Let's get started, shall we? My guest or analysts are here with me inside the studio. All right, it's Triple J. All right, it's Triple J, Triple J. We should have just a band name or like a click name for ourselves at this point because it's just all J's in the studio. Well, the cool kids. All right, today is a cool kids table. Joining me live in the studio is Chef Jeff 3000. What's up?
I love you 3000, but I could be woken up a little bit better, but yeah.
My God. What it is. Oh my God. As well as James Silas.
Yeah, good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everybody. Good morning for listening everywhere. Beamsy, I see you. Hey.
James had coffee on my behalf. So
I didn't have any coffee, trust me.
It's just natural right now.
Yeah, natural.
I hate you.
So we're going to get started as always. We start off with some new music as well. Well, first of all, let me reel out the numbers for you to join the conversation, okay? Our WhatsApp number is 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. We're streaming live on YouTube, so go onto YouTube to go catch our grumpy face, handsome and awoken face, and of course, very pretty face.
You can be grumpy and handsome at the same time.
Oh, so I take that back. I'm going to do it again. Handsome and grumpy face.
I mean, this is a freshly shaved head.
Yes, and it's shiny this morning.
Freshly smooth head.
And nicely oiled as well.
Freshly smooth head.
And moisturized, nicely moisturized.
Right? I mean, come on.
Take a look.
Look at that. The sun is shining.
My brother, I'll be like you when I grow up.
No sunshine when she's gone. No, me, because the sunshine is, just like... Yeah.
All right, let's get started with some new music, shall we? This one is called Sicky Boy. And it's on the Grapevine today, and it's called Billing. Enjoy.
My baby like to lick it tum-tum. The phone boss says she not gonna need company. She want to have the big in my love. I told daddy, oh my baby want run for me. See I got sweet sides for you, make it for you, stay put my radio. See I got buy van for you, stay by my side. Oh please, oh my baby, oh. Lick it tum-tum, lick it tum-tum. She get up in her, she get to leave on gone. Done all, and it's all love, it's done all. Girl, I feel die for you, oh we? Switch sides, I go collapse for you, oh yeah. Oh, girlie, why you fine? Why you so fine? And you're making it hard to be my wife. Girlie, I feel die for you. Mama, see tired. Oh, this love on the entire building. Mama, see tired. Oh, this love on the entire building. Believe me, I'm a leave.
Sicky Boy there with the song Billing is right here on the Grapevine. You heard it first right here on the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Guys, what do you think about the song? I think it's smooth, Joe, for an Afro pop, but hey, I don't know. You guys, what you think?
Yeah, I think it is as well. In fact, this slick song, he has a nice voice. It's pleasant to listen to. This is the first time I'm hearing this artist and the music, and I think I would like to hear more to actually have a better view of or a better perception about his vibe. But for introduction, this is not bad. I'm interested. All right.
Yeah.
There's a smooth thing about the delivery. Maybe it's a safe. What's the word? A safe place to be on, in terms of the pitch, the vocal, the delivery.
Yeah.
But I would still like to hear more from. But I think there's something. I like the song. Yeah.
Well, I think there might be something, but it's a bit forgettable to me. To be honest, I think that I have very big questions about his voice because I feel it's been altered so much.
I also feel like it was singing in falsetto, but again, maybe it's just me.
No, I know what falsetto sounds like, and it's still not the same thing. I think he's probably they probably reduced it to be 2 octaves higher than his normal range would be if he was to do anything live. So, I don't know. I mean, there's potential there, but you can, like James said, it's completely true. This is a safe zone for him. He's not stretching his vocals. He's not stretching anything. There's not much effort. He just sat down there and was close to the microphone, almost whispering, whip singing. Let's call it that. And that's just really where it went. Like there is potential for something in the future. The beat is okay, but I just want to see more substance in the writing and see more character through more music coming from this person. But again, I'm encountering him, so it's not a bad effort, but it's forgettable.
All right, it's not. It's. I think it's not bad. I think it's a nice song though. But I mean, would I listen to it again? I'm not sure. And also, I couldn't make out what he was saying at the beginning. I had to take a second listen again, and maybe a third listen. I feel like he sings in a falsetto. Maybe he does. His voice hasn't cracked yet. Probably doesn't have bass to his voice. Maybe he's speaking. But
No. Even if he was a tenor or a baritone, even if that was the case, this has been altered to a certain degree. This would not be. This is not a falsetto range at all. Falsetto, there's a lot. There's a bit of a stretch that comes with that, so you can tell when it's going on. But this is just a voice that's been auto-tuned to some certain levels or whatever.
Yeah.
Fruity loops and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, Fruity Loops. There you have it. Well, it's called Billings, and it's by Siki Boy. I hope you enjoy. But let's get back into the show and talk about some entertainment gist, shall we? Let's get started with this one. Of course, like I said, I said this a week ago or 2 weeks ago, several weeks ago now, about the fact that we're now in the award season. We've seen all the nominations coming out, but Drake Yanks Grammy nominations. Drake wouldn't be partaking in the upcoming Grammy Awards despite being nominated because he has pulled his submissions. Now, the rapper has withdrawn his 2 Grammy nominations, for Best Rap Album in Certified Love Boy, and another for Best Rap Performance in Way Too Sexy after having gotten nods about 2 weeks ago. Now, a source close to Drake tells media that the decision was made by Drake and his management team, and the Grammys board respected it. And Variety was first to report Drake's withdrawal. Now, he's obviously no stranger to the award ceremony. He is pretty much racked up multiple wins over the years, including one in 2019. But Drake has also publicly noted that he isn't a fan of accolades like this, saying they are virtually meaningless. He was also one of the first to speak up after the weekend was snubbed by the ceremony, saying, "I think we should stop allowing ourselves to be shocked every year by the disconnect between impactful music and these awards." Of course, this move might have more to do with his involvement in the Astro World Fest than his stance on the award, but the guy's been relatively low key since the tragedy, as we all know. Same with Travis Scott, especially since he's been named in a few of the lawsuits that have surfaced thus far. But guys, I feel like I think he's almost of the same school of thought as James Silas on the case of when you make awards. But I mean, also Astro World being there and all the lawsuits. I think it's a PR move for me. It's
PR move, maybe, but just that moment of attention seeking. I don't know, because if you're nominated, if you don't want to attend the award, that's fine. I mean, but if because for the Grammys, you have to submit as well. You have to submit your entries. Like you maybe through your label, through your management, somehow, somewhere you have to submit to, and then they've gone past that point or that level, and then you've now gotten the nomination, and then you now say you want to, you're withdrawing your what's it called, your entry or your nomination. You're more or less dropping the nomination that you've been nominated for already. So I don't think it was necessary for him to do that. More so, yes, if you feel a certain way about the Grammy, and then I think it's coming from a point where you've won this thing, so that whole hype about the Grammys for you has fizzled out. You don't think it's a big deal anymore. You have a couple on your shelf, and you just feel like, hey, but even at that, now in some part in my head, I feel like it can be disrespectful to the institution of the Grammys, where you've been nominated already. They've gone through the stress of what's it called, screening your music,
going through all the
going
catalog,
through the whole thing, and then finally nominated, and then
you now say, okay,
you're no longer interested.
Please pull me
So
out.
is it that next year, if they can we nominate you next year? Should we,
can you going and out whenever you like?
Yeah, so it's just somehow. So I feel that's why feel like it's attention seeking and unnecessary. He should have just ignored it. Don't attend the award. If they name you the winner or not,
Accepting,
you can say,
accept,
okay, I
you know.
don't. Yes, I rather I'll decline or I don't want it, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just somehow. So I don't see
Or
how
even not just not, you can also like dedicate that award to the
to someone
victims,
else,
you know,
maybe the next
Astro
person.
World,
Yeah, something.
you know.
So we can let's see how this impacts or affects his chances for next year. Except if he's not, if he doesn't have
Interested
music
about
that's
this
going to go in
anymore.
here. So,
Yeah.
but it's just somehow I feel like there's a level of attention seeking with it, and maybe later it will be clearer. I don't know.
I disagree. To be honest, I feel that this is basically a situation in which Drake is just trying to take the focus off himself. That's what the situation really is. It really is. It's not about the less important about the Grammys. Let's be honest, okay? James is right. It's very insulting to the Grammys in a way because the Grammys are meant to be like the Oscars of the music industry. But as much as I'm still interested in Oscar situations, I stopped having any interest in the Grammys about what maybe over 15 years ago. To be honest, it just lost the appeal
Are
for
you
me.
serious?
Yeah, because the thing is that even Beyonce would say that people don't listen to albums anymore. They just
Yeah,
listen
so
to
it's the
singles, and
singles.
that's really as far as it goes. So when you factor that into the situation that's going on right now in the music industry, the Grammys, okay, Beyonce nominated again. Oh, great! That's not great to me. It's like duh, whatever expected. In fact, you can always predict Taylor Swift will say one word, and you just know that she's coming at the Grammys at some point in time. But then again, Drake is trying to take the attention off himself because he has that situation whereby it's unfortunate that he is a named party in this situation because he was brought on as a featured guest. But then at the same time, so you might think that he has an angel angle to it, right? The devil angle now comes in because it's like when he came on stage, that was kind of like icing on the cake in terms of the crowd pressure and everybody like, oh my God, it's Drake, let's just forge forward kind of thing. So he's trying to be like, let me not go pick up this word and seem insensitive to the situation of what's going on. Even to dedicate the award to people, they'll still be like, why did you go and collect it? Why didn't you just boycott the situation? So that's what I feel like he's really just trying to do until things kind of fizzle down. Because the key thing is that as we go more into the stories, that these cases are not going away. They are more likely going to be consolidated, and really he doesn't need that kind of extra pressure compared to what is going on right now. So he's trying to give a sense to front, see where the legal thing can work in his favor and where he can get back to the music side. So to be at the Grammys would just be counterproductive.
Well, there's more here. I don't think we have enough time. Okay, we need to go for a very short break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to be talking about Travis Scott and the Astro World lawsuits that's been dismissed, okay, and also his response and his attitude towards them. But stick around. This is Smooth Breakfast inside of Grapevine 981. Don't go anywhere. Listen, I'm trying to get my whole. I'm just trying to get. See, my mind is. My mind. See, all the energy I just see is me pretending. If I tell you what's happening with me. It's a good. This is my opinion. Okay. Alright. So we got a message there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there are certain grapevine royalty people that you don't want to ignore. So any of the Emma Chumakapa, Emma from Yaba, don't forget the messages.
Duly noted.
It's true. Yeah.
No, but it's Cruises. Cruises, but Cruises. If Cruise, when I read Cruise's message, he will find me and hunt me down, and like he would, he knows the case of taking. He would find me and hunt me down.
Don't ignore our
Don't
MIs.
ever do that again.
Don't ignore our MIs. Yaba and
David
Akoka.
B.
I give you and the kids.
Somebody said Judith. Is that how Judith screams behind the scenes?
I'm always singing behind the scenes. Oh, my hair's nice. Hi. So I'm always dancing behind the scenes. So I do.
I think Juliet is broken.
She drank the coffee.
I think that
it's not me.
Juliet is
It's
broken.
Judith.
Shut up.
Yes, because Judith asked us a very strong question this morning.
Broken.
What is?
Broken.
Oh, okay.
Tell them. Let's talk about
I
it.
was saying that how do men find? I was laughing at me. So I was saying that how do men find the time, right, to have a full house, like wife, like a full wife and girlfriend, right, and then an entire household that you're like the provider, and then still have time for side chicks, like you are communicating with her like 247 the same time you're communicating with your wife. Like how do you do it? Give me the tea. What is this? What is this attention to detail that you guys do? Like in the morning,
Do you think
like as
Judith
you're up
got
in the
involved
morning,
or
you're
was
saying,
jilted and she just realized that this guy is married?
No, I heard someone's.
No, at the end of the day, these things are very easy and they happen very frequently.
I
was
But
even
then,
difficult in it.
listen, the women
I
are
had
doing the
somebody-
same thing too, all right?
If you see the gist, oh boy, it was brain, oh.
Wait, Judith, what's difficult? What's the talking?
I'm
not
just,
chatting,
you
we're
know,
chatting.
it was the attention to detail that really blew my mind.
why,
I'm
why,
like,
why?
this nigga, man, your niggas ain't shit.
Why were you
Listen,
surprised?
there was a time
Women
when
do
he was
worse.
single.
Women will have 5 boyfriends.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
communicate all of them
yeah.
equally.
Like,
Just check that
it
Instagram,
blew me
check that
mind.
Snapchat.
Ahead.
account.
Dabula
Private
says
messages.
multitasking. How about that?
Oh,
You think men are not
Multitasking
multitask? Look at
now.
you.
and you guys,
Multitasking.
I am.
Don't hate
well
anybody.
done, well done, guys.
You niggas
Record,
are worse.
I don't subscribe to, but I mean it does happen.
I don't know,
That should
man.
be
We are not
very
like that.
clear. It just-
Jeff, who
it
is
does
this person
happen.
who's not liking you? So you don't subscribe?
They're not like
They
that.
have people now.
And they
Well,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Boink, boink.
What? There's no ring on this finger.
My friend said black men don't cheat. Maybe
Nah,
black
so-
men don't
Come on,
white man.
It's Russian men that chief. It's Russian men.
Wow, I don't know about having that on live stream. Well, okay, all right. I didn't say it. I didn't
I'm
say
sorry, forgive me.
it. I didn't say it.
I didn't mean it that way. It was just like a sarcastic. It was sarcastic. It was just a joke. I didn't mean it that way. All right, we're going in, guys. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Smooth, the 98.1 Love Music, Love Life. It's the Smooth Breakfast Show, the second half right here on the Grapevine 981. My name is Judith TV. The 3 J's are in the studio, J Square. I'm looking for a name for us, and you guys are not even helping.
We'll come up with something.
Did she just say J square?
I'm looking
That
for...
wasn't working.
I'm-
Squad? No, still not.
I don't know what to do, but I have with me Chef Jeff 3000, of course.
Yeah, I love you 3000.
Oh, let me chill,
Feeling
baby.
a little better.
And of course, James Silas as well.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Don't worry, Judy. There's room for everybody. You'll be fine.
Was there a message on the live stream? Oh, we have a message here regarding the Astro. So we're going to take that story. Now, if you didn't know about the tragedy that happened at the Astro World the year, I think it was September now, October. Now, Travis Scott doesn't believe he should be tied to litigation when it comes to the tragedy that happened at Astro World, which is why he's asking a judge to nix one of the lawsuits against him. Now, the rapper just filed legal docs denying the claims against him by a guy named Jesse Garcia, who's alleging he was in the crowd at the festival. Now, Trav's asking that his suit be dismissed with prejudice, specifically as it pertains to Travis Scott himself, his company Jack Enterprises, and his foundation / label Cactus Jack. Now, Travis is issuing a general denial, which is a legal term in lawsuits that allows one to submit one blanket response to all the allegations against them. In other words, Travis is making clear that the deaths and injuries are not his responsibility, and is asking the judge to toss the suit against him and his entities. Guys, what do you say? How's that with you, Chef Jeff?
You know, him asking for it to be just combined into one case, I mean, it's a fair thing, to be honest. I mean, it's everybody claiming for the same thing. But of course, there will be individual damages that people will be seeking no matter what the situation is. The fact of the matter is there is still some level of guilt he was not the person who was there pushing people directly, but the mere fact that you just didn't have an awareness or a team to have an awareness factor of what was going on, it's kind of like what instigated everything that happened. This is probably not the first time we're going to be seeing something like this happen. We've seen security lapses in other contests that have happened with other people. So it's really also a question of how much blame comes his way, how much blame goes to the organization's way, all right, in terms of the people who are in charge of security, crowd control, and whatnot, and how to find the right balance that's going on there. But the fact of the matter is that people died. They're gone. This was a preventable situation for the most part until things got out of hand. As an artist, you have a responsibility when you're on stage to be in tune with your crowd, not just with what you're performing, but also like, is everybody okay and whatnot? Is there trouble somewhere? Call for help there. I've said it before. I remember one time Adele actually stopped the concert because somebody had fainted. Said, "Hey, someone's
fainted.
Get somebody over here to help the person out." That kind of responsibility, especially when we're in a situation whereby people have been longing to go out because of the whole COVID situation. They've been locked indoors, couldn't go for concerts or whatever. So you expect that people are going to turn out in masses because they now get to see their artists perform again. They get to be out together again. They're vaccinated or not vaccinated or whatever. And so the level of crowd control thing becomes a big thing for the artists and the people who are involved. So no matter what the situation, him having it combined, I don't really see that really happening. But even if it does, every individual there is seeking something, and it's not just justice. They want some sort of conversation that's going to be going on, and it's not going to be the same figures that people are looking at. This is not going anywhere anytime soon. I think for him, the best thing he can do is just to keep a low profile as well, stay off the spot. Maybe this might fuel in some music for him in the future times life, but he shouldn't be focusing on anything artist wise until this blows over, until he's done whatever punishment or retribution angle things that he needs to go through.
Yeah.
So that's where things are at.
James.
Yeah, I mean, so I was thinking that this was an afterthought for him, all this aspect of him saying that no, he's not going to take responsibility and stuff. Because the earlier time that thing happened, he had said, he was going to support, however, cooperate and support victims in any way.
And he was offering to pay for burial as well, yeah.
So I'm sure now, looking at the gravity of the situation, his lawyers would have told him, no, we have to do this, we have to say this, you have to say that. So he's beginning to...
Those lawsuits are going to wreck him.
It's going to be crazy because it's not even the first time, which is why this one actually,
garnered this much attention and went out of control.
I don't know. There was even one of the witnesses who's on wheelchair, from the 2017 one or so, who's also saying this is not the first time, this is why I'm on a wheelchair and stuff. So I don't know, I'm actually fingers crossed on how this one's going to play out, because he was the one who was in front, and because he said he asked for the fans to come forward, like, yo, come, security, leave them alone, and ask them and then which was actually caused this situation, this whole incident in the first place. So I'm really hoping that his lawyers have a good plan for him. They have a proper defense for him, because I don't know, this time around he might not just get his slap on the
wrist.
The situation kind of started with just before the concert actually itself. Hours before the concert, people rushing across the barricades.
Yes,
freeloaders, so to speak. That's where things now started out at the beginning. But the thing is that when you say that it's not the first time, even I know somebody who's been for a Travis Scott concert said that this is, what it really
typical,
is, to be honest. So all I'm just saying is that if someday you hear that there's a Travis Scott and Naira Marley concert, don't go. Just don't go for that one. Yeah, because
how this man is sitting at home and he just received a stray bullet is just
like, and then it's like, nah. So
you guys are just reacting to the Drake story earlier about him pulling out his nominations from the Grammy. This one's from Lakes, and she goes, Astroworld incident is such a big deal. For the sake of solidarity as well as good PR, this is a good step in my opinion. It is important that people see some sense of remorse from him for the lives that were lost, and this is a big step of showing that remorse. And that's a reaction there to Drake's withdrawal. We move on now to movies, and this time is from Netflix. It's the That movie was, I don't know, this crappy movie called Red Notice that becomes the most watched movie on Netflix. Now, according to Netflix reports, Red Notice garnered 328 million, that's 0.8 million viewing hours, all right, breaking the previous record held by 2018's thriller Bird Box, which had 282 million streaming hours. Now, upon the news of the comedy action's success, Dwayne Johnson took to Instagram and wrote in his caption, it was really thanking his fans and saying, wow, we did it with an incredible 92% global audience score. And he's also saying that they have 2 weeks left for their global run to tally up these extraordinary and groundbreaking metrics. And he goes, love you guys and thank you. Now, Red Notice tells the story of an FBI profiler played by Johnson who must partner with the world's greatest art chief, which is Ronalds, in a daring heist to catch a most wanted criminal played by Godot, which is a Gal Gadot, which is Wonder Woman. Yes, my brain there just froze. But guys,
Man, you see, the thing is that Dwayne Johnson, his posse, let me put it that way. Dwayne Johnson is a male Beyonce, the male version of Beyonce. That's how big his following is, to be honest, when he does anything. And
everyone just jumps
he
in it.
comes through from different angles, fitness, movies,
Yeah,
and so on and
yeah.
so forth. So he has a lot of clout. That's why even nonsense shows like Ballers got a lot of attention, despite the fact that nobody really understood what that show was about. So you got that, and then you've now got Ryan Reynolds, who's a genius at marketing. Anything.
Yeah. Brown
Anything.
is
And you got Gal, who's just a genius at being beautiful, basically, so to speak. So in a way, it's them playing their different characters. Okay, you got Dwayne Johnson being Dwayne Johnson, and Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, and Wonder Woman coming together, and that's where the attention goes into this movie. But they've also done a lot of PR. To be honest, they've done a lot of interviews in different places, and it's always been something that's been in your face. That's what's helped to drive things. But is it worth the watching? Is it worth the title? It is not really, to be honest. And it's just really just to see how things can just fizzle out, and then people can improve on their taste again.
Oh my
and
God.
we can start to see better pictures.
Have you seen the movie?
I haven't, but I read the reviews, and I'm very judgmental about which reviews I read. And I mean, it looked okay, to be honest, but I knew that there wasn't much substance for the movie
to the
itself.
movie, another
So,
heist movie.
yeah, and so that's just where things are at. So it's just really people who are, they have a lot of a posse, a lot of followers who are just driving them up in this particular thing. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean that there's anything of substance. Now, if you look further down the chain, you might still also find some rubbish movies that are still there as well, because the one that was even before that was also not the best movie at all. So it's really just clout that is pushing things as opposed to substance. And I can't wait for us to go back to substance, to be honest, because that's where Netflix and co just kind of.
It's almost like you were in the same conversation, like in the same conversation I was having on Sunday with a friend, and we were just talking about movies in and of itself, and like the roles that actually this started with Eternals, right?
Okay.
And we're asking if you'd seen it. It's like, oh, and he's like, oh, I've never seen like any Marvel movie. But I was like, oh, and Tobey Maguire's Marvel, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And it's like, yeah, I only saw it because of the director at the time, because he's a huge cinephile, like a huge cinema critic, and like he was talking about it. But what was interesting was how he was talking about there's a shift in movie making, and there's a shift in what movies are, and it's now all about the numbers and it's all about the money. And every single time you see that, with things like MCU and
Yeah.
things like Netflix, and of course there's now Disney Plus, there's also Amazon as well. What you're going to see, you stop seeing movies that leaves you with, that would leave you with a memory that it's so unforgettable, to now movies that's now fast consumption, quick up to the next one, quick up to the next one. You're not going to see that. And what's going to happen is that it will set precedents for awards to sort of like just be what it is. It's to now be like a American movies, American Music Awards, or one AMA Awards or something. There's no more substance to it. If that makes any sense.
I think Netflix is trying to do content that has substance. I think they're trying, but they're still accepting from different places because there's money to throw around, there's money to
Yes.
receive. Kind
Yes.
of thing. It's the other people who are not on those sort of platforms, all right, whether Disney Plus or whatever, who are struggling to get people into the cinemas these days. All right, so your MCU will always be your MCU because no matter what, people will crowd to the cinema. They're going to pay for their ticket. They'll go watch it there, and that is where Netflix lose out until that transfers over to them or to the Disney Plus or whatever the station that there is. But the truth of the matter is that there is substance out there now, but the market is so competitive that these days you don't even have to watch a show. You just need to find who's your reliable person and just wait for them to tell you this is what you should watch. This is what because everybody that gets
influencing
onto
as
Netflix,
well.
yeah, because everybody that gets onto Netflix for the first time, the first thing you are told is Black Mirror. That's the first thing you are told when you get onto Netflix.
See, I never got onto that. I never got onto Black Mirror after the very first episode of that season where the prime minister had to. I was just like, this is too much for me. I don't know what you people said this was about. I am not seeing it again.
Need to go back.
Absolutely not. I'm not doing Black Mirror with anybody.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
But, there's still a lot of content that's going on there, but it's very competitive. Like for me now, if I want to know. It's about trusting your critics. Right? So I know that I can trust someone like a Charlotte Thompson to tell me whether
Shout out to you, Charlotte Thompson.
Shout out to you,
or 7 or
Thompson.
8 or 9, and I'm like, okay, I might not have seen this now, but this is on the list. I screenshots that. Make sure we're gonna see it some other time. Boom, that's really it. So now people are relying on recommendations. You go onto Facebook, you can't go onto Facebook without anyone telling you, what do I watch? Have you seen this show? Have you seen that? Have you seen that? So it's a very competitive space. People will still go to the cinemas, yes. But I feel like now it's the platforms who are leading the way until you can give them something that's going to drive them to the cinema to go and watch something really big.
Well,
I mean, it's what it is. So it's a number game these days, and it's not just Netflix. We see it here in Nigeria as well, where people, somehow, some way the numbers come up, and then you're either interested or not. Like now, this what's it called, Red Notice. I haven't seen the movie as well, so I'm actually interested. I want to know. I'm curious to know why is the number going up. In fact, before now, I didn't even know what's the other one had the highest views or numbers on Netflix. I mean, that's just Netflix is just even one platform. Maybe it's not box office or where do we have
it was
the general
released in box office as well before. I think a week after or 2 weeks after, it now went on to Netflix. But guys, do you think that due to this number of games, when it comes to like the movie industry, now we're bringing it back home to Nollywood, do you think that also influences the casting? Because we've seen very big liners and sometimes even Instagram celebrities and skit makers, as they call themselves, or go on to act in these movies, and even if sometimes their roles are small, they're marketed as main characters.
No, but which one comes first? It's sometimes it's the casting that attracts the casting characters and stuff that attracts the views. Because if I see a billboard and I'm looking at the billboard and I don't even see any known face, do you understand? I mean, those situations, that's where I want to depend on the reviews to make me want to go and see it. But if I see some of the big names that I know and I'm seeing all of these people, and I'll just be curious, like, okay, what's going on? I want to see this. One of the movies that will probably make the wave or maybe make numbers this season will be maybe Akiampopo. Just maybe because it's going to be shown at the cinemas. I'm actually waiting to see how people are going to. I mean, it's not supposed to be a new movie. It's something that has happened before.
It's just
a reenactment.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how people will react to it, and just maybe. But I don't see myself go to the cinema to go and still see it. Maybe it will still move over to Netflix where I can relax and just watch it. But for something that I've seen before, I don't know what will be different. I don't know. I'm actually curious, but maybe not yet until I see the reviews.
So numbers influence casting.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's sometimes I think it's both ways. I mean, I'm new to the scenario basically, but I know that there are certain names that you drop in front of me that it's like I don't question the quality of what they're going to do. I will most likely come and see it. Tell me a Kulia Falayo, no problem, fine. When I got my role on Little Black Book, I was like, I thought this was a joke. First of all, I was like, wow, they just called me randomly out the blue to audition for this thing. Then they said, yeah, you got the part. Then I didn't really think it was that serious until I saw Ikechukwu was on the show. I'm like, okay, well, this is actually a big thing right now. So that kind of like drives the viewers. But also so that's a numbers game there. But also we have to be very mindful about how we cast people as well, because it sometimes ends up being a popularity thing. So it's like, okay, let's go and get someone fresh from Big Brother that thinks they can act, and then that's really where things are. We talked about the 6-year-old. Sorry, he's not 6, but sounded 6 Big Brother rapper the other day. We need to drive the numbers. We drive them the right way. Get the right cast. Get the give people chances to grow at the same time. That's another thing.
That's another one.
That's where the dynamics of the casting comes into play, and then you then get the numbers up.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in today. Appreciate you as always. Please do us the favor and plug out, shall you?
Yes, you can find me at Chef Jeff 3000, Twitter, Instagram. Because I'm not actually here, but here kind of thing. You know, from the locally overseas abroad.
Yeah.
That's a new category these days. And yeah, you will find me here same time next week on the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. Don't forget as well, coming up this week, I will be doing a live cooking session on Instagram. So stay tuned for that. Keep your eyes and your onions peeled, as I said. Hit me up, Chef Jeff 3000. Peace out.
I can't wait for that.
Talking about not tweeting. Okay, did you say Twitter? Okay.
He said he's not
these days,
yet.
people are tweeting from Australia and Netherlands and certain countries, and they're
And
still
you
in
guys
Nigeria.
have private jets.
You
to
know,
bring
those
you in and
things
out.
about
Yeah.
it happens. Well, James Hallas on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Clubhouse, and all whichever social media you find. I think I'm everywhere.
See, James,
Holla at me.
James,
Let me know if I'm
James.
I'll holla back.
James, you're not on that fans thing now.
Which one?
That's another one that they have. You're
Only
not on
fans.
that- you're
Only
not
fans.
on that one.
No. That one. I mean, that, I'm not there.
So
I'm not
there
there.
you say on every social I'm like, careful
I'm
now.
not there, I'm not
Careful
there.
now,
No, but that's
James.
not like a social
Careful,
media
James.
platform, is it?
Well,
Yeah, to an extent it is, because you have to pay to, to an extent. Anyway.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. My name is Judith. The TV brings us to the very end of the Grapevine 981. Stick around. Great music on the other side. And I'll come back later to tie up the show nicely. Stay with us.
The Grapevine on the Smooth